Monday, March 6th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski in our new studio today, bringing you the latest Connecticut news, including a reward being offered for information on a bank robber, a woman caught for having over $100,000 worth of cocaine mailed to her, and a child's hand freed from a gumball machine over the weekend. Frank Granito will have a look at the forecast and a Nutmeg Sports update, and Donald Ang joins us later to take a look back on this day in history. But first, HAN's Monroe Courier reports this morning that Monroe police arrested 38-year-old Lisa Nussbaum of Monroe on March 3rd after the department received several complaints from concerned citizens who witnessed a Facebook Live video of a juvenile child operating a motor vehicle. Through the investigation, it was determined that the video was being recorded by Nussbaum and posted to her Facebook account, showing her juvenile child driving a car on public roads in the town of Monroe. Nussbaum was charged with risk of injury and impairing the morals of a minor, and she was released on a promise to appear in court on March 10th. In other news, Greenwich firefighters freed a boy whose hand was stuck inside a gumball machine on Saturday. A young boy became trapped when he tried to get a gumball from a machine inside of a barber shop. After people in the shop were unable to free his hand, they called emergency responders. Greenwich police, EMS, and fire responded, and they were able to disassemble the machine, and the child was freed, thankfully without injury. And a driver for Uber has been arrested on larceny charges after he allegedly stole a Trumbull woman's debit card. According to police, Antoine McCrae, 33 years old, withheld the card after his passenger had used it to pay for her ride. He then convinced her he had returned it and then used the card to make several purchases at businesses in Fairfield, Norwalk, and Darien. McCrae is a convicted felon currently on parole from New York and was wearing an ankle GPS monitor at the time. His criminal record includes numerous felony and misdemeanor convictions, according to police. After learning of the warrant for his arrest, McCrae turned himself into authorities in Albany, New York. He was subsequently extradited back to Trumbull on Thursday. He's charged with larceny and criminal impersonation and was being held on a $50,000 bond. And the search for a robbery suspect that hit Wilton and Fairfield is ongoing. Wilton police on March 3rd announced a reward for information that helps to identify the suspect in a series of bank robberies in the region, including one in Wilton on February 24th. Check out the video captured outside that Wilton bank of the suspect. The vehicle the suspect used in the robberies, with the registration plate 477ZZD, was recovered a short distance away from the Fairfield County Bank on Danbury Road after fleeing the parking lot through a rear access road. It was a green 1997 Honda Accord, according to Wilton Lieutenant Robert Cipolla of the police department. He said that car was purchased in Stratford back on February 21st for $380, and it was based on an internet sale on Let Go. The Fairfield incident was an attempted robbery on February 22nd when the suspect, described as being in his 20s, approached the main door of a People's United Bank on Old Post Road in Southport, which was locked. The male yelled to an employee who had just locked the door, and the employee told him that they were closed. The male, who was wearing a face mask with gloves and carrying a duffel bag, then fled the scene southbound in that Honda Accord. Anyone with information about that suspect, described as about 5 feet 10-inch white male wearing a mask, should contact either the Wilton Police Department at 203-834-6260 or the Fairfield Police Department at 203-254-4840. And Shelton police arrested 2 men for allegedly breaking into 3 homes and stealing electronics, jewelry, and a gun. On Thursday, March 2nd, Shelton police responded to 3 residential burglaries on the south side of the city. According to police, forced entry was made in each of the 3 residences, and electronics were stolen. Jewelry and a gun were reported from one of those homes. After an investigation into a suspect who lived nearby, with the help of Seymour police, Shelton police were able to locate the suspect at a gas station in Ansonia. Officers stopped the vehicle in the parking lot and located the stolen gun inside and arrested the 2 individuals in connection to it. Police said that a 3rd individual that was in the vehicle was not charged in that case. Those 2 arrested occupants are 19-year-old Nicholas Boland of Shelton and 19-year-old William Copley of Waterbury. They were both arrested in connection to that theft. Police say more arrests are expected in that case. And a 27-year-old Middletown woman is accused of arranging to have cocaine worth more than $100,000 shipped to her from Puerto Rico. The Middletown Press reports that Jasmine Delgado was arrested Thursday afternoon and charged with criminal attempt to possess narcotics and attempt to possess narcotics with intent to sell. A woman walked into the police department around 11:30 in the morning on Thursday with over 7 pounds of cocaine in 3 separate rectangular items inside a black box. The woman told police the package arrived in the mail addressed to her with her deceased brother's name as the return address. The total value of the cocaine inside was about $120,000, police said. When police interviewed the woman, they asked if she had ever allowed anyone to have packages delivered to her address, and she told them that she had hesitantly allowed a neighbor to have a package of children's clothes sent there. Police advised the woman to return home and call them if anyone came looking for that package. Minutes later, the woman called to tell police that her neighbor, Jasmine Delgado, was inquiring about that package. The woman told Delgado she could wait at her apartment and said she had to step out and would return soon. Well, she returned with a police officer who handcuffed Delgado and took her into custody. Delgado told police she had been waiting for a package of children's clothes from Puerto Rico and did not know anything about the cocaine. And in Darien, the theft of about $100 worth of used cooking grease was reported to Darien police on the morning of February 24th. An employee of Yellow Green Environmental contacted the police from Jimmy's Southside Tavern. Used cooking oil is currently in demand by various organizations to be converted into biodiesel fuel. Well, Yellow Green has an agreement to pick up used cooking oil from Jimmy's Southside every 2 weeks, but the lock on the outdoor container where the grease is held was missing. As much as 100 gallons of oil were removed and there were no signs of spillage in the area. Police are investigating the incident, and similar incidents have been reported in recent months. But let's switch gears now, throw it over to Frank Ornito for a look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. Not as cold out today as we saw this weekend. We've got partly sunny skies. Temperatures back up into the mid-40s. We'll see some cloud cover start to move in later on with this afternoon and an overcast night ahead of us around the county. Chilly tonight, temperatures dropping down into the 30s, and there will be a light breeze heading into Tuesday morning. Mostly cloudy out again tomorrow, an expected high of 52. Morning rainfall will turn into scattered showers during the afternoon. It'll be overcast again tomorrow night as those showers continue through midnight before clearing up by Wednesday morning. And Wednesday, we'll see early morning cloud cover give way to sunny skies and beautiful conditions. Temperatures up into the mid-50s. Windier compared to earlier in the week with gusts between 20 to 25 miles per hour, but still pretty warm out. Colder overnight, though, mostly clear skies. Temperatures down into the low 30s. That number with the wind chill, though, going to feel more like 15 degrees. That's going to do it for the weather. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, we're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, Donald Eng joins us to take a look back on this day in history. Frank has your Nutmeg Sports Update, and we have more local news coming up after this.
We told Dad he could have his office back if he sold 150 cars last month.
Deal's a deal.
Well, Dad, you did it. You get your office back.
Forget it. I'm having too much fun down here. My new goal, 160 cars. Wow. Folks, if you ever wanted a great price on a new Nissan, now is the time.
Right now, lease a 2017 Altima 2.5S for only $99 a month.
Isn't it time you got Millerized?
It's all about meeting goals this year, and Trinity CrossFit of Ridgefield has experienced trainers, top-of-the-line equipment, and a newly renovated space to help get you there. Offering more classes per day than any other CrossFit gyms in the area, we cater to all fitness levels. Our coaches have a combined 10 years of experience in CrossFit, and as competitors themselves, Trinity coaches can get you ready for competition in 2017. Visit our convenient location on Route 7, Danbury Road, or find out more at trinitycrossfit.com.
Whether you're looking for the freshest seafood, the perfect steak, or want to share delicious appetizers, look no further than the Stone's Throw in Seymour. Chef Peter Hom has more than 30 years of experience creating original recipes in his American eclectic style. Our dishes are made from scratch with fresh, local ingredients that pair perfectly with a seasonal craft beer, a signature cocktail, or your favorite wine. When you visit our Riverside location, you'll feel like you're on vacation when you're only a stone's throw from home. Visit us on Roosevelt Drive in Seymour or at stonesThrowCT.com. At the Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier network, and we've also reached more than 2 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to this March 6th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and it's time to throw it over to Donna Lang to take a look back on this day in history. Don.
Well, Kate, on this day, the nation bid farewell to a legend, but first we're going to go to 1820, the Missouri Compromise, signed into law by President James Monroe. Now, the Compromise allows Missouri to enter the Union as a slave state, brings Maine into the Union as a free state, and makes the rest of the northern part of the Louisiana Purchase closed to slavery. The Missouri Compromise would remain the law of the land for exactly 37 years. Now we go to 1836 at the Battle of the Alamo. After a 13-day siege by an army of about 3,000 Mexican troops, about 187, maybe 220 or so Texas volunteers, including frontiersman and three-term Congressman Davy Crockett and knife enthusiast Jim Bowie, defending the Alamo, killed, and the fort captured. 1857 now, the Supreme Court rules in the Dred Scott versus Sanford case, widely considered the worst decision in the history of the court. The Scott decision returned to slavery a family that had been living freely for years and declared the Missouri Compromise unconstitutional, effectively stating that the federal government had no right to regulate where an American could travel with his property. The Scott decision was nullified by the 13th Amendment, which outlawed slavery in the United States. Finally, now we go to 1981 for this.
This is my last broadcast as the anchorman of the CBS Evening News. For me, it's a moment for which I long have planned, but which nevertheless comes with some sadness. For almost 2 decades, after all, we've been meeting like this in the evenings, and I'll miss that. But those who have made anything of this departure, I'm afraid, have made too much. This is but a transition, a passing of the baton. A great broadcaster and gentleman, Doug Edwards, preceded me in this job, and another, Dan Rather, will follow. And anyway, the person who sits here is but the most conspicuous member of a superb team of journalists, writers, reporters, editors, producers, and none of that will change. Furthermore, I'm not even going away. I'll be back from time to time with special news reports and documentaries, and beginning in June, every week with our science program, Universe. Old anchormen, you see, don't fade away. They just keep coming back for more. And that's the way it is. Friday, March 6th, 1981. I'll be away on assignment, and Dan Rather will be sitting in here for the next few years.
And that was America's most trusted man, Walter Cronkite, signing off after 19 years at anchoring the CBS Evening News. A victim of the CBS mandatory retirement policy of age 65, Cronkite had actually, in his early assignments, ridden combat missions on B-17s over Europe. He would continue working special reports for the next 25 years. And I suppose that's the way it was March 6th throughout history. I'm Donna Ling.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, in other local news, emergency crews were on the scene this morning of a car that crashed into a building. This happened in the area of 400 Greenwich Avenue around 9:30 this morning. The car appeared to drive right into the East End restaurant. No word on if there were any injuries, but we will keep you updated on that. Now let's throw it over to Frank Granito. It was the end of the winter season over the weekend, Frank.
The end of the winter season, and what a weekend it was for the Ridgefield Tigers, Kate, who got to celebrate not one but two FCIAC championships between Thursday and Saturday. It all started at Alumni Hall on Thursday night when the Tigers and the Wilton Warriors made their first ever appearances in the boys basketball championship game. What an atmosphere it was at Fairfield U. Tip-off was at 7 p.m., but by 5:30 the gym was packed and the arena had been sold out. The teams traded leads early on in the fourth quarter before Wilton had to score the game's final 4 points just to force overtime. Matt Cronenberg led all scorers in the game with 32 points, including 20 of his team's final 25. One overtime wasn't enough, though, as it would take a second extra period to determine this year's champion. Clutch free throws by captain Chris Longo proved to be the difference in this one, as he hit 4 in a row with less than 15 seconds remaining to give the Tigers a 68-64 victory. Here are the highlights from that championship game.
It should be a lot of fun as the opening tip won by Ladowdy, and the Tigers will start. First possession of the night here. Cronenberg tried to poke one away as Longo steps into a three. Good.
What a big three there by Longo, the captain.
Clone have to say, Cato.
More than anything, he emphasized on that last possession. Be patient. Get good shots. Get good looks at the basket. Don't worry about them not falling. They're going to start falling eventually. You shoot the initial fouls first with nobody in the lane spaces. Then you administer the technicals. Now Wilton's going to inbound right across from you.
Kicked out. Breslin in the corner for three.
Yes! Breslin! Big three-pointer there for the Warriors here.
Game, Kevin, something we're not very used to.
And smart.
As Cronenberg from way downtown.
Welcome to the fourth quarter, young man.
He was in the quad for that one. To give Ridgefield the lead. Gets it.
There it is. Essen player. Big moment here.
No good. Cronenberg the rebound. 2-point game with 30 seconds to play. He's going all the way to the rack. We're tied up.
Cronenberg. We are tied. What a big bucket by the senior captain. What a comeback. Big. Let's see what Cronenberg does here.
Gonna try to get all the way to the rack. Inside the basket.
Wow! Cronenberg. My goodness. How clutch has he been down the stretch? Putting the Tigers up one.
Tigers up by one. Cronenberg in the mid-range. Yes! And he's cramping. No good. Cronenberg the rebound. He traveled.
Good defense there by Essen player to get in his face, force him to move around. Question is, what's Ridgefield going to do here?
His right, all the way down low to the basket, and he gets the foul.
Wow! The senior captain, again, coming up huge.
Up ahead, Metalla to the wing at the buzzer. It won't matter. For the first time ever, the Tigers are kings of the jungle and have won the FCIAC championship.
Congratulations again to the Ridgefield boys basketball team, but the Tigers were not done yet as they had an opportunity for a second championship on Saturday afternoon in boys hockey, taking on the 18-time champion New Canaan Rams. In what was one of the best hockey games we have seen all year, Ridgefield scored 3 goals in the final 4 minutes of play to pull away for a 5-2 victory. The Tigers opened up the scoring just 4 minutes in when Joe Signorelli let a shot go from the slot to beat New Canaan's Peter Windus and give Ridgefield a 1-0 lead. Despite 12 penalties being called in the first 2 periods, neither team could capitalize with the man advantage, and the third period would start with that 1-0 score. New Canaan would tie the game twice in the third period, getting goals from Chase Glover and Tyler Hill, but it was Ridgefield's Nick Cullinan's goal with 3:13 remaining that would end up being the game winner. Mateo Van Wees would add an insurance goal with 1:21 to play, and an empty netter from Jeff Priscilla would give the Tigers their 6th ever FCIAC championship in boys hockey. Here are the highlights from Saturday's championship game.
That time is an errant pass sent off the side of the net. Out to the front and a shot on goal. Score! Joe Signorelli, who had a goal back on February 7th, makes this a 1-0 game. Pulls it now, and Granito comes across for Glover, who kicks that one up to his stick. He scores! Chase Glover with a twisted wrister upstairs where Granny hides the cookies. Beating Keegan's on the glove. And Weiss up top. Lets the wrister go and scores! Might have been deflected out in front. Took just 37 seconds to answer. It's a Tigers power play goal. And in the slot, backhand and a sliding block there. Loose puck fought for. Hill on the far side trying to force one through. On the backhand and scores!
You had to create chaos in front of Sean Keegan's to get the puck through. And that deflection almost caused it to go in.
On the half wall, shot towards the front of that. Rebound in front. Cullinan scores! McMahon tried to center one in front, and now a pass to the opposite wing. Finds the stick of Van Weiss. He's in with Byers to the left. Doesn't matter. Score! Van Weiss streaking down the right wing, goes to the far side, just tucking it in the post. 4-3. The Richfield Tigers, your 2017 FCAC champions.
Ridgefield now becomes the third team in FCAC history to hold both the boys hockey and basketball championships in the same year. Trinity Catholic did it most recently in 1992-93. Before that, it was the New Canaan Rams who held that title in 1968 to 1969. We'll be at Title Den tonight to see the champion Tigers take on number 18 Shelton in the first round of the boys basketball state tournament. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. We go on the air at 6:45. And while the Tigers took home the most trophies this weekend, the prettiest one goes to the Barflies. Congrats to the boys taking home the SHL Cup last night with a 6-2 win. That's going to do it for this Nutmeg Sports Update. Let's go back over to Kate.
And I see what you did there, Frank, with the Title Den. I thought you misspoke.
No.
Good job, though. All right. Well, in other local news, in Stratford, an early morning fire on Sunday heavily damaged the Rumors Cafe strip club on Barnum Avenue and is being blamed on faulty wires involving the heating system, according to fire officials. Hearst Connecticut Media reports that firefighters were called to the one-alarm fire around 8:40 in the morning. Fire Marshal Brian Lampard said no one was injured during the fire, but added that the blaze caused significant damage to the building. The Sunday morning fire was the second time in less than 12 hours that firefighters were called to the club. Lampard said around 7 p.m. Saturday evening, the fire department responded to a fire behind a locker in a changing room. After that small fire was put out, the club closed for the evening. Lampard said management returned on Sunday morning to clean up the mess when another fire erupted. The town's fire department returned to find the building engulfed in flames. Officials believe the cause is a damaged heating wire in the HVAC system. The damage was mostly confined to the interior of the building and the roof and is repairable, according to fire officials. And in other news, New Canaan resident Michael Nowacki is planning to gather signatures of registered voters and again become a candidate for First Selectman of the town of New Canaan. Nowacki was a petitioning candidate for First Selectman in 2015, not affiliated with any political party, after he submitted 34 signatures of voters, which was more than the 28 required at the time. He was Republican incumbent Rob Malazzi's only opponent in that year. Nowacki got 276 votes, or 9%, but Malazzi won with 91% of the vote. For this year's municipal election in November, a Democrat, Kate Devereaux, announced on March 2nd that she's running for the 1st Selectman seat. Malazzi notified the media on March 3rd that he and Republican Selectman Nick Williams will announce their intentions about possible re-election bids this week. You can get more on that story at ncadvertiser.com. And Two Roads Brewery has received permission from the Stratford Zoning Commission to expand by constructing a new building on an adjacent lot at 1526 Stratford Avenue. The new 25,000 square foot structure will be used for a barrel aging and souring facility. Two Roads CEO and founding partner Brad Hittle told the Zoning Commission it will include a tasting facility and have 33 parking spaces. Hittle called sour beer a growing segment of the craft beer business and said the ancillary facility will attract people to Stratford, benefiting the town's economy. He said it would complement the existing Two Roads Brewery and Bar that fills a former factory complex at 1700 Stratford Avenue and has 277 parking spaces. There's a lot more on that story at stratfordstar.com. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today on your coffee break after this.
On time, done right, safe and reliable. Mr. Handyman CT.com.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
Mr. Handyman CT.com.
Want a new experience in car buying? Skep Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, skepchryslerjeep.com or skepdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the spring clearance event and Ram Truck Month, now through March 31st.
Have a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Basketball, hockey, skiing, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
While there's still a bite out on the water, most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Recently renovated and home to one of Connecticut's largest indoor turf fields, InSports is a multi-sport recreation center providing state-of-the-art facilities for league play, camps, and youth programs. Sign your child up now for InSports Future Stars Basketball Academy, teaching skills on the basketball court for boys and girls ages 5 through 9. Visit InSportsCenters.com for more information on this 7-week program. And for adults, spots are also still available for our men's 30 and over and 40 and over leagues. Like and follow us on Facebook.
I'm Frank Granito.
And I'm Donald Ing for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Thursday, where we bring you all the top stories from Connecticut sports.
From highlights to player interviews and expert analysis, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, now Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network.
Welcome back to this Monday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. HAN's Monroe Courier reports this morning that Monroe police arrested 38-year-old Lisa Nussbaum of Monroe on March 3rd after the department received several complaints from concerned citizens who say they witnessed a Facebook Live video of a juvenile operating a motor vehicle. Through the investigation, it was determined that that video was being recorded by Nussbaum and posted on her Facebook account showing her juvenile child operating a car on public roads in Monroe. Nussbaum was charged by warrant with risk of injury and impairing the morals of a minor and was released on a promise to appear in court on March 10th. And Greenwich firefighters freed a boy whose hand was stuck inside a gumball machine on Saturday. A young boy became trapped when he tried to get a gumball from a machine inside a barber shop. After people in the shop were unable to free his hand, they called emergency responders. Greenwich police, EMS, and fire responded, and they were able to disassemble the machine, and thankfully that child was freed without any injury. And in other news, a driver for Uber has been arrested on larceny charges after he allegedly stole a Trumbull woman's debit card. According to police, Antoine McCrae, who's 33 years old, withheld the card after his passenger had used it to pay for her ride. He then convinced her that he had returned it and used it to make several purchases at businesses in Fairfield, Norwalk, and Darien. McCrae is a convicted felon currently on parole from New York and was wearing a GPS monitor at the time. His criminal record includes numerous felony and misdemeanor convictions, according to police. After learning of the warrant for his arrest, he turned himself into authorities in Albany, New York. He was subsequently extradited back to Trumbull last Thursday. He's charged with larceny and criminal impersonation and was being held on a $50,000 bond. And the search for a robbery suspect that hit Wilton and Fairfield banks is ongoing. Wilton police on March 3rd announced a reward for information that helps to identify the suspect in a series of bank robberies in the region, including one in Wilton on February 24th. Check out video captured of the Wilton incident. The vehicle the suspect used in those robberies has a registration plate of 477ZZD. It was recovered a short distance away from the Fairfield County Bank on Danbury Road after the suspect fled through a rear access road. It's a green 1997 Honda Accord, according to Wilton Lieutenant Robert Cipolla, and it was purchased in Stratford back on February 21st for $380 based on an ad on the internet site Let Go. Now, the Fairfield incident was an attempted robbery on February 22nd. That suspect, described as being in his 20s, approached the main door of People's United Bank on the Old Post Road in Southport, which was locked. The male yelled at an employee who had just locked the door, and the employee told him that they were closed. The male, who was wearing a face mask with gloves and carrying a duffel bag, then fled the scene southbound in that Honda Accord. Anyone with information about that suspect, who's described as 5 feet 10 inches tall, a white male wearing a mask, should contact the Wilton Police Department at 203-834-6260 or the Fairfield Police Department at 203-254-4840. And Shelton police arrested 2 men for allegedly breaking into 3 homes and stealing electronics, jewelry, and a gun. Last Thursday, March 2nd, Shelton police responded to 3 residential burglaries on the south side of the city. According to police, forced entry was made in each of those 3 residences and electronics were stolen. Jewelry and a gun were reported stolen from another home. After investigation into a suspect who lived nearby and with the help of Seymour police, they were able to locate that suspect at a gas station on the Ansonia-Seymour town line. Officers stopped the vehicle in the parking lot, located that stolen gun, and arrested 2 individuals in connection to it. Police said that a 3rd individual that was in the vehicle was not charged in that incident. The 2 arrested were 19-year-old Nicholas Boland of Shelton and 19-year-old William Copley of Waterbury. They were both charged in connection to that theft. Police say more arrests are expected in those burglaries. But let's throw it back over to Frank Granito for one final look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. Again, not as cold out today, partly sunny skies and temperatures up into the mid-40s. Cloud cover starting to move in later this afternoon before what will be an overcast night around the county. Chilly tonight with temperatures dropping down into the 30s and a light breeze heading in to Tuesday morning. Mostly cloudy out again tomorrow with an expected high of 52. We'll see some morning rainfall that turns into scattered showers during the afternoon. Overcast again tomorrow night, and those afternoon showers are going to continue on through midnight before clearing up by Wednesday morning. We'll see some early morning cloud cover giving way to sunny skies and beautiful conditions on Wednesday. Temperatures in the mid-50s, a little bit windier compared to earlier in the week with gusts between 20 to 25 miles per hour. Then cold overnight with mostly clear skies, temperatures in the low 30s, but that number going to feel more like 15, Kate, with the wind chill factored in.
All right, Frank. Well, Since we're busy with our move to our new studio, as you can see, no Arts and Leisure Day, no Nutmeg, but boys basketball live tonight.
That's right. We'll be on the air at 6:45 at Tigers Den, but we'll have number 15 Ridgefield and number 18 Shelton, first round of the Class LL CIAC tournament.
That's exciting, and we're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break, but we'll see you tomorrow at 11. Have a great day.